In campaign 2016, the anticipation on the campaign trail is building tonight.
Democrat Hillary Clinton is set to get a very high-profile endorsement, and Republican Donald Trump is expected to make a big announcement about his running mate this week. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now live with a look at this week ahead as we head into those conventions.
We're getting there, right? A week to go. So this is Veep week for the Republicans and endorsement week for the Democrats. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders will both be in New Hampshire tomorrow, and they're not there to take in the sights. And Donald Trump is pondering his Veep choice, which he says will be made this week. And in the meantime, the attacks continue. At a campaign event in Virginia Monday, Donald Trump blasted Hillary Clinton while claiming he's the tough-on-crime candidate.
I am the law and order candidate. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, is weak, ineffective, pandering, and, as proven by her recent email scandal, she's either a liar or grossly incompetent.
The Clinton campaign fired back with a web video focusing on Trump's comments about murderous dictators.
Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, right? But you know what he did well? He killed terrorists. He did that so good.
Now, Trump is facing attacks from within his own party as delegates began arriving in Cleveland for the Republican National Convention next week. More than 100 delegates are participating in the party platform committee meetings this week, even as a federal judge ruled in favor of a lawsuit by a Virginia delegate who wants the right to vote for someone else other than Trump for the GOP nomination, despite having been elected as a committed Trump delegate. But the Dump Trump movement to deny him the nomination is probably DOA.
We are defined by what unites us as a party, and we need to make sure we are sending a clear message to the American people about what we really are all about.
On Monday, the committee took up issues like same-sex marriage, trade, and abortion, issues where Trump has at times gone against the grain of Republican orthodoxy. When it comes to vice president, Trump told the Washington Post he's considering 5 contenders and expects to announce a decision on his running mate in the next 3 or 4 days. Among those believed to be under consideration are New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who campaigned with Trump in Virginia Monday, Indiana Governor Mike Pence, who will campaign with Trump on Tuesday.
We need clear-minded leadership to make common-sense conservative appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich is also believed to be under consideration, as well as retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, former director of the Defense Department Intelligence Agency, who appeared to flip-flop on the abortion issue from pro-choice to pro-life in 2 days.
But I think women have to be able to choose what they the right of choice.
Monday, he told Fox News he's a pro-life Democrat and the law should be changed. Tuesday's expected to be an important day for Bernie Sanders and the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Thank you, New Hampshire.
In the state that gave him a big win back in February, Sanders is expected to give his long-anticipated endorsement to Hillary Clinton.
She's somebody who's seeking very hard to earn the trust of the American people and to bring all of us together.
Now, the Democrats will open their convention in Philadelphia on Monday, July 25th, 2 weeks from tonight. One of the questions hanging over their convention will be, to what extent will Bernie Sanders campaign for Hillary Clinton, and will he appeal to his supporters to get out and vote for her in November? Pretty important consideration.
Sure. Yeah, no kidding. And the DNC and the RNC coming up really quickly here, Dave.
Yeah.
What do you expect out of the tone and the attitude at these conventions?
I think it's going to be much like what we've been seeing so far. The tone, run for your life if you vote for my opponent. I think this could be the most negative presidential campaign we've ever witnessed, and I expect the conventions will kick that off. Both campaigns are trying to scare people, their supporters, to vote against their opponents. Just look at what's happened today. Republican leaders asking the Justice Department to open a criminal investigation into whether Hillary Clinton lied to Congress in testimony about her private emails. And the Clinton campaign web video released today portrays Trump as a guy who has a soft spot for Saddam Hussein and other brutal dictators. So there's plenty of moving parts already, Susie.